Welcome back to my channel. In the West, we live in a time of entitlement by people who don't think they have to work for things themselves, and nothing should make them uncomfortable. It is no coincidence that it is also a time where we hear a lot about fundamental rights that are simply not rights at all. Let's start with this from the mayor of Seattle.
Access to affordable, healthy food is a basic right. We cannot allow giant grocery chains to stomp all over our communities, close stores at will, and leave behind food deserts. Together we can build a Seattle where fresh food is for everyone, not just for those who can afford it. Food deserts are not natural. Corporations create them when they abandon our communities.
But that is all wrong. Consider what Jeffrey Mead says about it.
I'm going to explain to you how stupid what she just said is. Food deserts aren't natural. So let me get this straight. Whatever you believe in, whether you believe in creationism, God created the earth, so the moment God created the earth, there were then grocery stores. Or you believe in the Big Bang Theory. When that happened, bam, grocery stores all over the world. Grocery stores are anything but natural. Food deserts are natural. We got to modern grocery stores from thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years of innovation. Yes, food deserts are very natural. Grocery stores are not natural. And no, people are not entitled to have grocery stores in their city. That's not an entitlement.
That pretty much nails it. Also consider the mayor's statement about how they cannot allow stores to close doors at will. Really? They want to force people to keep their stores open? I think that is called slavery. I also want to expand on what Jeffrey said, because one of the big problems today is that people's sense of entitlement leads them to not understand at all what a real right is. You see, I have a right to free speech, but I don't have a right to require someone else to pay for me to have my own media company to promote my speech. Likewise, I have a right to bear arms, but no right to require someone else to buy me a gun. You see, actual rights do not depend on the economic situation you are in. Many people today, like this woman, say access to healthy food is a basic right. No, it is not. Such people also say healthcare is a basic right, or housing, or even a job. But all these rights can only be considered that way when a nation is wealthy. When it isn't, sorry, but such so-called rights can't exist. Even if a poor country gives everyone health care equally, it only means all health care will be poor because the money to pay the cost just doesn't exist. The economy must be built first, and socialism doesn't build up an economy. You see, there is no free health care, because that money has to come from the people who have created wealth to begin with. Government has no money it doesn't take from someone else. Likewise with government-run businesses. Sure, they may provide grocery stores in bad places, even selling under cost, but only because they tax others to make up the difference. Someone always pays. You don't have a right to make me pay for what you want. And because of this government support, the people running those stores are not as concerned with running them effectively, which just means the tax support they need becomes greater. Along the way, their government support also means any private stores trying to still serve such communities can no longer do so, because their customers move to those tax-supported government stores with artificially reduced prices. So it just makes the situation worse as government policies drive even more businesses out, which, surprise, convinces socialists they just need even more government interference. It is free enterprise that creates wealth, not government-run businesses. The politicians are just buying votes with other people's money, which makes them greedy. If their generosity causes more harm than good, it won't bother them. They just blame businesses. Much like the mayor of Seattle is planning when she says they can't allow businesses to close at will. Instead of strengthening the police to make the city safer, especially in those poor areas, she wants to just force businesses to stay open while making it too hard to make a living because of crime. A real right, freedom of speech, is regularly violated by those who make up fake rights. contrast their fake right that we have a right to not be offended, which is absurd on its face, with using that fake right to violate the actual right of free speech. They just call it hate speech, but they use hate speech themselves, happily offending those they disagree with. So it isn't actually about whether someone's offended or not. It is just censorship from those who declare their speech is always just fine while censoring others. And that doesn't even count them using violence or even killing, which may come from a minority, but is justified by about half of them, which means you get more of it. Anyway, back to Jeffrey, who makes another important point.
And notice how she said big grocery stores are stomping on people when they close stores. But she doesn't seem appreciative for the grocery stores being in these areas to begin with. It's an entitled mindset.
Exactly. Lots of stores have existed in those places, but if the neighborhood crime goes up because of lack of law enforcement, it makes total sense if the business leaves. You can't expect a business, which is just a bunch of actual people, to lose money. If you disagree, no problem. You can use your money to start a business there instead of punishing those who tried. More on this.
People work their butts off to accumulate the resources in order to open grocery stores and then expand those chains. If a store is not profitable, there's no reason to keep it open. It can't sustain itself.
Exactly. It's how reality works. A mayor should be maintaining a strong police force, have a DA who goes after criminals and doesn't have those silly policies that say you can steal up to a certain limit, like maybe $600, before you'll face charges. No wonder businesses choose to leave. It isn't greedy businessmen, it's greedy politicians. Jeffrey describes what the left and its media allies have succeeded in doing.
I'm tired of so many Democrats always demonizing big companies, billionaires, successful people, when those are the organizations who are providing many of the products and services that people need on a daily basis.
True, we hear all the time about the greedy rich or greedy businesses, but the fact is, most people are greedy, wanting more than they earn, including workers. Unionized workers have been known, in their greed, to cause businesses to go out of business, which means greed can work against you, but you'll find out too late. Jeffrey's summary.
But then if, let's say, a store closes down due to rampant crime and they can't be profitable, their employees aren't safe, people like this individual will come and say, oh, well, that store doesn't care about people and that brand is bad and they're stomping on people. About the people that were stomping on their business by stealing from it every day.
Politicians in the big city today seem more interested in caring about criminals than in the law-abiding. You need to pay attention. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.